So, we are going to start this poem, How to Tell Wild Animals. And this poem is written by Carolyn Wells. How to Tell Wild Animals. By the term wild animals, we understand that it speaks about animals who live in the wild. They are not domesticated animals, they are not domesticated dogs or cats or those animals who lives in the locality where human beings live. Instead, they are wild animals. So they have a specific location, they live away from humans, and they are wild. They do not listen to human beings. Instead, they do according to their own will. So they are wild animals, those animals who live in jungles. And how to tell? How to tell means the characteristic that define those wild animals. Means how will you tell that that is a wild animals? Means the specific characteristics of that particular animal. So in this poem, we are going to see how we could tell about wild animals, how we can characterize them, and what are the special characters that we can see in wild animals. It's about Carolyn Wells. She was an American writer who was famous for books based on mystery. So her books were mainly based on mystery. Her famous works are At the Sign of the Sphinx. This is one of the famous work, The Jungle Book. That is another book which is famous, The Story of Betty. So these are the famous works of this author, Carolyn Wells. Here she acts as a poet instead of an author, and she is an American writer. She is not a British person, she is an American person. About the poem. In short, in this poem, the poet has explained the characteristics of various wild animals in a very funny way. So, the technique that is used is a funny technique. So, in a funny way, the poet tells about the characteristics of the wild animals. She has used language in a way that it generates humor. So, in an intellectual mocking manner, where fun is brought into your vision, she has used the language in such a way which generates humor, which generates fun. She is introducing the reader to various kind of wild animals. So we will see wild animals like about Asian lion, Bengal tiger, bear, etc. Explaining each of the animal in a very humorous way. So this is basically a humorous poem. So we will see fun here, and it is not written in a serious tone. We will see ironic things over here. Means how in certain twists and turns of lines, how through certain techniques the poet brings out to us the characteristics of the wild animals, and that too in a fun way, means in a humorous way. So basically this poem is about all these wild animals and how can we tell the characteristics of this wild animal. So it's a very light poem. It's not a serious thing like we have seen the 100 Dresses, we have seen Annie Frank. So this is not that sort of a serious thing. It's a very light and very easy thing, the to the point portion.